Hey. Raul. It's okay. I know. I'll deal with it. Could we be done? We'll table this discussion, come back to it. Shh. Thank you. All right, so who measured this wall? Do you guys measure this wall? East wall? You measured that east wall? What'd you come up with for your measurement? For your area?
540 feet east 4 inches.
Is this square feet or what?
Square feet.
Okay, who had this wall? Who measured this east wall? No one? What table are you guys? Oh, you guys are table 8. Okay, no one did. Question for you, east wall. What again was the premise of this? What was the point of doing this? What were we trying to find? If we were going to what? Paint. Did you guys subtract the window? Okay, so right, they did the east wall, that back east wall, right? But that back east wall has a bunch of windows. Okay, how many of us did the west wall? You guys did the west wall. Who else did the west wall? Did you guys subtract the door?
No.
No, did you guys subtract the door? No. Yeah, lie. Okay, so when we need to start thinking about it, so far we're at 3 groups who did not subtract either a door or a window. Right? We do not need a door or a window when we're talking about surface area or painting area. Okay, who had the ceiling? Who had the ceiling? Table 10, right? Did you guys have to actually measure the ceiling? No, what's a smarter way to do that? Measure the floor, right? Because here, in this room is technically considered a prism. Okay? A prism is anything with 2 congruent bases and rectangular sides. Okay? That means that opposite sides are all the same. So we are mostly having you guys measure area and do things in here. One of the big pieces is the ability to problem solve. Right? A lot of groups were like, I need the height, but weren't sure how to get it. There's like at least 3 different ways you can measure the height. A lot of us ran out of tape measure. How are we going to get it? Okay, how are we going to measure if it's more than 33 feet? The ability of you to problem solve is going to be huge. And if you haven't caught on yet, we are going to be problem solving more in class so that once we start building, you guys aren't having an issue. Okay, let's get into our notebooks. I'm always the front. This should be under your warm-up. Under your warm-up. We are going to talk about G8, solids. That's his. Here's what we're talking about today. Now I've got to tell you something else. A small note. Okay, research has shown that you have an attention span of 1 minute for every year old you are. That means at best, y'all should be able to pay attention for 14 to 15 minutes. Very rarely will I ever talk to you for longer than that. I know that 14 or 15 minutes is already maxing some of us out. Okay? Well, 13, boy, you better accelerate yourself then. Okay? I'm going to be talking for about the next 10 to 15 minutes. I will not go over. I'm telling you this because it means I need you to pay attention for about 15 minutes. And I'm well aware, look at Major right now, look at him, look at him. Oh, he almost had you. That there's a difference between sitting quietly and paying attention, right? I know that some of you are really good at the art of sitting quietly because you've been made to sit quietly. And that's nice and all. But right now I need you to pay attention, like open your brain up and try and be like, okay, I'm going to focus on what you're saying, and I want it to make sense, right? So when you have the like glazed over, like, ugh, I know it's the end of the day, but it's not too hot in here, we're doing good. Try and like open the brain, like active, pay attention, like sitting up, like looking at me, okay? I'll be quick. Is that okay? Yeah, whatever I write, you write. Okay, the surface area. You've already been doing surface area in here. You've already been doing a lot of it. We're going to just generally define it as the outside area of a 3D shape. This is important. You only have surface area when you're talking about something that is three-dimensional. All right? Really, you've already been doing this. You've been finding the surface area of sheds and of roofs and of all kinds of different stuff. Really, you've already been doing it. Essentially, all it is the area of each side added up. Something we've already been doing. Okay, if I wanted to find the total area or surface area of this room, right, as we all could think about, that would mean I would need to find the area of each wall, and then add it all up. Okay, so we already kind of know about surface area. There are 5 different shapes I'm going to talk about. 5. First one, a prism. A prism is any 3D shape with 2, well, I just spit. Using the word congruent, what's it mean? Same, like how same? Exactly. Come on. Hi, I know, you're okay. Exactly the same. 2 congruent sides. Oh my gosh, not sides, I'm sorry. Bases with rectangular sides. Yes, if I'm writing, you're writing. A prism is 2 congruent bases with rectangular sides. So, as an example, here this is a prism. It's named for its base. This is a triangular prism because I see there's 2 bases, right? 2 exactly the same triangles. And if I look at each side, it's a rectangle there, it's a rectangle here, it's a rectangle here. Okay? This would be a triangular prism. This guy is a hexagonal prism because, again, its base, there are 2 identical hexagons, and then each side is a rectangle, right? Each side is a rectangle. Okay? So, prism, pretty straightforward. 2 congruent bases with rectangular sides. I'll be writing SA, of course, for surface area, capital S, capital A. We use the capital A for regular area. We're using a capital SA for surface area. It's going to be the area of the bases plus the area of the sides. Okay, pretty straightforward. If I asked you to find the area of this prism, which hint I'm going to ask you to do on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday. Might as well just say them all. Okay. You guys, you'll get there. You're so not paying attention. If I wanted the area of this, right, I would find the area of this triangle. We know how to do it. There's 2 of the same thing, so maybe I take a shortcut, or maybe I find the area twice. I don't know. And then we all know how to find the area of a rectangle. Again, this is something you've already been doing. We're not going to spend too much time on prisms. What shape is this going to make?
Pyramid.
Yeah, pyramid. What about this one?
Triangular pyramid.
Okay. Also a pyramid, right? So for a pyramid, again, this would be the surface area. Anyone know what this is called?
A net.
Yeah, a net. Okay. It means if I folded it all up, I would get myself, if I could fold well, a pyramid, right? It would fold up all nice and neat, and we would have ourselves a little pyramid. Okay. So we're going to talk about the pyramid. Also, I would like you to draw one. It has one base with triangular sides. A pyramid is really defined as having triangular sides. If I wanted to draw it, draw yourself a slanty rectangle, otherwise known as a parallelogram. Put a point and draw lines to each side. Right? So there's a pyramid. And again, if I was thinking about finding the surface area of the pyramid, I would need to find the area of each of these shapes. Right? We all know how to find the area of a rectangle or a square at the bottom piece. Right? We could all find the area here of this guy, and of course we all could find the area of these triangles. Okay? So there's our pyramid, and the surface area is going to be equal to the area of the single base plus the area of the triangular sides. You're not done yet? Area of the base plus area of the triangular sides. Okay, what's this going to make? Yeah, a cylinder, right? Another way I could look at it is here. A cylinder, right? It's like a prism with circles, or a can. A cylinder. Okay, there's our cylinder. And what I want you guys to do right now is, again, if this is the net of a cylinder, because I could fold these two sides up and roll this baby around. Oh, that's kind of good. I would have my little cylinder, like a little toilet paper roll. What I want you to do right now is try and write, take 30 seconds or so, write what you think the surface area would look like for a cylinder. What are the pieces? Sure, if you can write a genuine formula. Okay, what would I need to find the area of, and how would I do it? Okay, take 30 seconds to write your own version of a formula. It might be crazy, but write how it makes sense to you. What do you need to find the area of? On your own. All right, who feels good? What can I talk? How can I find the area? Stevie. If I multiplied the height, or if I found the area of the base here, and I multiplied it by wait, what? What? It's okay, say. You're going to kick yourself. You're right. You don't want to say? Okay. What's the circumference? Here, what would the circumference be talking about?
Oh my god, I got like...
Sam?
Circumference is the distance from the outside of the circle.
Okay, and how do I need it right now?
Kind of.
Well, you do 100%.
For what?
For the base. Basically, like when you're doing the rectangle, the base is gonna be the circumference.
Great. Here's this. Kind of. Right, and where does that show up again? What touches the pink side? If I go like this.
The entire base.
Yeah, the rectangle, right? The rectangle here. Right, that's the same as the circumference. So if I want to find the area of this rectangle, I need the circumference of my circle. Okay, what else though? So I need to find the area of this rectangle, and of course, what else do I need to find the area of? Badger? Hold on, that's not my question.
Not the area.
I need to find the area of this rectangle. Suggest a problem to be done? Meadow? 26? Any others?
21.
Don't say 21. That was last year. Come on, man. We're growing. Find a new vine. What else?
Well, then what's the thing this year?
I don't know. I'm hoping. So. Okay, let's take a vote. Who would like to see 26? Oh my gosh. Who would like to see 26? Pay attention or I'm not going to do that one. 1, 2, 4. Who would like to see 29?
You missed 3.
Oh my gosh. Who of you are not paying attention? Says everyone else. Sam, you don't own up to that.
29.
Shh. Okay, we'll do 29, I guess. Here's what I need you to know. If you don't have this down or you didn't know how to do 29, add this to your workbook. So all of us should be adding right now. To find the scale. In order to find the scale. Hey, I'm not talking over people. I don't have the voice for it. You need to divide the scale feet by the actual inches. Okay, if we're trying to find the scale, we're going to divide the scale feet by the actual inches. So, some of you were talking about using architect scale or whatnot. When I'm looking at this drawing, I can see that it's 250 feet. That's the scale feet, right? That's what they're telling you it is. But if I want to find out the actual measurement, I need to actually measure. Okay. So it's ish there. So looking at this, I would come up with that this measurement. Cecilia, what the hell are you doing? Oh, it's a calculator. This I'm going to call 7/8 of an inch. So we have that 7/8 of an inch represents 250 feet. So if I'm trying to figure that answer out, I know that I have scale feet here. That's going to be 250 feet divided by 7/8. Now, before I put that weird fraction, I'm going to figure out what that is as a decimal. Remember, when we're putting these fractions of an inch into our calculator, I do not get to put it as like, I don't know. You need to turn it into a decimal. So 7/8 do 7/8 and get that you would be dividing by 0.875. And if we do that, we end up with 286 feet. And here's what that means. That means that our scale for every 1 inch, it's equal to 286 feet. So on the paper, Every 1 actual inch that we measure represents 286 feet on my drawing. Okay, so that would be our scale. I think that was probably the sticking point, whether we didn't have a ruler or blah, 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 blah. Again, I'm going to remind you, you get to use your workbook on your quiz. Luis, don't talk to Malachi. You get to use your workbook on your quiz. If there's a question like this, you might want to have put this in your workbook so that as you go, and maybe there's another problem like 29, you have this as a reference so you don't have to go again, I don't know. I'll be like, what about 29? Remember we did it. Okay? So please make sure it is in your workbook, that you have at least like this part in here of how do I find the scale without an architect scale. Okay? All right. The only other thing that I'll walk through, and I'm not going to do the whole problem because I don't think I need to. The only other thing that we need to talk about is how we're finding the height. Okay? If I want to find the height of the lot, I need to measure, again, it's not the slant height. I need to measure the vertical straight up and down height. Okay, if I'm trying to measure the straight up and down height, I get 1 and 1, 2, 3/8. So I have 1 and 3/8 inches, but I'm trying to turn it into feet. So I need to use my scale. I need to multiply this measurement, 1 and 3/8, by my scale. So I need to times by 286. All right, so again, if I'm trying to find out how long it really is, for part B, the height is going to be equal, we said 1 and 3/8 inches times 286 feet. As a reminder, to put 1 and 3/8 into your calculator, don't do like, I don't know, some people are doing this, which is understandable kind of, except it's wrong. Okay? To get 3/8, remember, please divide to get the actual decimal. So here I would have 1.375 times 286 to get our height at about 393.25 feet. So when I'm looking at this drawing here, okay, and that it should make sense. I can see that here is 250 feet. This would be 393.25 feet. Okay, so it is longer than it is wide. Are we okay with that now? Again, make sure you're making a reference so that we don't have to run into this problem again. Okay, we have it down now. All right. Okay, so if we're going to start talking about today in a situation where we would want to measure / paint this room. Okay, if we wanted to paint this room, what would we need to know first? Surface area, or someone like talk it down to me. What, Luis? Huh? Okay, we need to know about the paint. What type of paint? Are we getting gallons, quarter gallons? What type of... And what else for the actual physical part of the wall? Finn? Area. Okay, so in your table, and I would recommend that at least one person in your table is paying attention so I don't have to destroy you. In your table, someone point west.
I don't know which way north is.
Where? Think about 12th is on the outside of the school right there, and you know, like you go north is that way, north, south, west, east.
If that's north, how about west?
North, south, west, east. What do you want? Go away. No, go. Get Kevin.
You're striking. Get out of here.
Okay. The coast is to the west, if you didn't know. Right? Like Across the river is the west side of Portland.
But the
Okay.
Wild West is to the east.
No. Still no.
Yeah, it is.
Still no. So, you have at your tables these tape measures. Look. Look. There's a little handle on it that you flip up. Okay? And when you pull it out, that'll move. In order to wind it back up, right, you use it as like a little fishing thing. Okay? Crank. So please make sure that you don't like pull them really hard or be ridiculous with them or break them. On your tape measure, just so you know, the very end right here is 0. The very end of the metal tab is 0. Okay, 0 is like way on the outside. That's 0. Okay, that's 0. Okay, each table needs to find the area of a different section. These 2 rooms are available, so listen. If you were finding the area of the west wall, which wall is west? That wall. One group do this west wall, the other group go in the next room and do that west wall. Same for the east wall. One group here, the other group there. Okay? Find your table number and find the area. Table. You can choose who you want to join. This one? They're not. So this table responsibility. Okay. Secondly, we are going to have a quiz this week on Thursday.
What is it on?
What we've been learning in class. So for your quiz, just so you know, you will be allowed to use your workbooks. That's it. So some of the work that we've been doing in here, is good. Got it. Some of the work that you've been doing in here, you may want to continue doing in here so you know what's what. What?
Maybe use the formulas in the back of the workbook.
Cool.
I'm asking if you can.
You can use your workbook.
Even formulas?
It's part of your workbook.
I want a straight answer so I know you aren't. Feels like you might be sidestepping it to mislead me that we are, so that I get things wrong, so that you can call me out from class like you just said you would.
I say what I mean. You can use your workbook. Right? Okay.
I need a straight answer.
Then ask someone else.
Yes.
Matthew.
The answer is yes.
I got a question. On number 29, it said use a ruler, but I really don't own a ruler. And I was
Okay.
about to go back.
So, number 29. It's going to get a lot of you a 0 today. Unfortunately, if you get a 0 today, it means you're not working tomorrow. Okay? So, we're going to learn the hard way, some of us, and that's okay because as long as we are learning, it'll be just fine. Some of us take the hard way to learn, others of us don't. Okay? So here's what happens. Sean, get going, man. If you, for whatever reason, don't have your homework complete, I do not deal well with excuses. Right? And I'm not calling it like a lie excuse. I'm just saying where there's a will, there's a way. Okay? If you wanted to really get that done, it's been an entire school day. I know that I am not the only classroom that has rulers. You could have came here in the morning and got a ruler. You could have came during lunch and got a ruler. You could have, right? I am just saying that if you, like Yoda says, there's no try, only do. Okay? So we'll talk about that. I expect you to be getting your stuff done. Whatever that takes. Some of you means you're coming in and getting help. I got it. Okay? Right? We came in this morning and there were like 15 of 20 people waiting to come in. That's awesome. If you can't get in here in the morning, then you can swing by whenever else, right? But that being said, I'm going to check off homework right now. Before I do, please go in your notebooks to your next available page. You were told to tape this in there, but whether or not you follow directions, I don't know. Okay. This was in there from last class. We're going to go to our next day. Please put today's date. Write the words warm up. For your warm-up today and many days in here, we are going to look at some puzzles. All of these puzzles come from the mathematician Martin Gardner. Some of you may have heard of him, some of you may have not. He's dead now. He wrote a bunch of different math puzzles. So we're going to look at those throughout the day. I do not know the solution to this puzzle. Okay, but here's the problem. It says take the digits in descending. I know you can't see it very well. In descending order 9 through 1. So that means like this. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And form an expression equal to 100. By inserting, not a box, by inserting plus and minus signs. Okay, you're trying to make the smallest number of signs. So again, here's the thing. You're going 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoops. Okay, they have to stay in order. They have to stay in order. And you can like smush the numbers together. Like if I can call 987 minus 654 plus 32 or something. Okay. They have to stay in order. You're putting in plus or minus signs only. No divide, no times, no equals. Plus or minus signs, trying to make it equal to 100. Now, just in general, hint, don't try and do it the first time with the fewest possible. Just try and get 100 the first time. And then maybe try and see if you can limit your usage of the plus and minus signs. When you think you have it, let Mr. Hrishu know. While I'm coming around, I'm going to check off your homework, 22 through 26 and 29. If you don't have it out, I might just say it's a 0. Have it out so I can see it while you work on your warm-up.
When you think you had the right answer, stick your hand up and also say something, please.
Rectangle and. Say it again. The circles, right? I need to find the area of the circles. We know how to find area of both of those things. So here, if I'm trying to write the surface area, I need the area of the circular bases plus the area of that little rectangle going around. But when we think about it, right? When we think about it, we already know.
We already know. Wait, don't we know both the bases because we did. Wait. Two pi r squared is the circumference.
Hold on. No. You're wrong. Hold on. But no, it's not. Okay? Here, area of the circles. How many circles are there? 2. How do I find the area of a circle?
2 pi r squared.
No.
No, pi r squared.
Of a single circle, pi times the radius squared. Right? So the area of my circles, there are 2 of them, and it would be pi r squared. Here, that's where it would be on my cylinder, the radius. And if we're talking again about this rectangle, right, we know the length of the rectangle is the same as the circumference. Right? So I know I would need to find the circumference, which how do I do that? Don't say diameter either.
No, 2 pi r.
Yeah. This is the circumference. But what else do I need for the rectangle? This is what you were talking about, Badger. What else do I need? I need the height right here. This is the same height. That's the height of my cylinder. The same height here. For my rectangle, again, I would need the circumference times whatever my height is here. So on your net, you have the circumference times the height. Circumference times the height. Oh man. How many shapes are we doing?
5.
Don't say 7.
5.
Yeah. We're doing 5. How many more do we have? 2. What's this?
Oh, it's
Oh.
Cone. Right? If I rolled it all up. Oh, I could do it. I believe. It's not bad. Okay. We also have a cone. We have 2 more. Zip. Zip. Draw a cone. Label your cone. Hey, shh, zip. Gentlemen, stop. Just draw a cone. Give me 3 more minutes and I'll be done. For our cone, there are 3 parts. Again, it has a circular base. If we're trying to find the surface area for our cone, we of course need the area of the base. We know how to find the area of a circle. It's pi times the radius squared. But we would also need the area of this other piece. Okay, the area of this other piece. Now, if we're trying to find the area, for now, there's a bunch of different ways to find the surface area of a cone. We're going to be using the slant height. Please notice the difference between the height and the slant height. If I'm looking at this cone, okay, the height would be this straight up distance. Right? This distance right here that you would see right there through the center would be the height. The slant height is if like I leaned backwards. Okay? The slant height is actually along the side of the cone. So the slant height would be the actual distance here along the cone. That's the height. If I went like this and you measured me, that would be the slant height. Yeah. Okay? So, to find the area of this piece, right, the area of here would be pi times the radius times the slant height. The area of the circle, of course, is pi r squared. So for the surface area, I'm going to be adding these 2 up. Pi times the radius times the slant height gives me the area of this weird piece. And we know area of a circle. Okay? EI. Circle part, pi r squared.
And then TA, right? I haven't used the word height. Oh.
Last one. Ooh, it's my sphere. Last one is a sphere. Draw a circle. Draw this piece and do a little dash. It's a sphere. A ball.
It's like an egg.
A sphere is a ball. Ethan, 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 Ethan. Okay. So, for a sphere, has a radius. It's the same all the way around. 4 times pi times the radius squared. The end. The end. All right. So that's it for notes. I'm going to just tell you 2 things about homework, 3 things about homework. 1, your homework for tonight. Make sure you write it down. 30 through 34.
Wait, is today what's today?
Yeah. Homework 30 through 34. Still not done? Hold up, I'll tell you in a minute. A few things to point out. 30 through 34 is due when? Thursday. It's Tuesday. Okay? In your notebooks, once you have this written down, please go to problem number 32. Go to 32. On number 32, please notice, so that you don't have a million excuses or answers. Shingles for roofs, not the kind you get in your skin. Shingles. Oh my gosh, listen please. 2 ways, they come in bundles or squares. This you need to know. A square of shingles covers 100 square feet. Please make a highlight of it. You use it in 2 homework problems. I don't want anyone to ask me about it. Okay? First thing. The second thing, just to point out to you on number 34, just so we're all clear, OSB oriented strand board. It comes in big flat sheets of 4 feet by 8 feet. I think of it as plywood because I don't know any better yet, but I'll learn. Okay, so those are 2 things that you needed to know. Make sure you have your homework written down. Lastly, reminder, anything left on tables, under tables, paper balls, whatever's back there, get you a boot camp for your whole table, so please don't leave anything on or under your tables. Rulers need to be put back. Calculators and measuring tape. Rulers are back there. The sphere? Responsibility. Okay. Secondly, we are going to have a quiz this week on Thursday.
What is it on?
What we've been learning in class. So for your quiz, just so you know, you will be allowed to use your workbooks. That's it. So some of the work that we've been doing in here, is good. Got it. Some of the work that you've been doing in here, you may want to continue doing in here, so you know what's what. What?
Maybe use the formulas in the back of the workbook.
Cool.
I'm asking if you can.
You can use your workbook.
Even formulas?
It's part of your workbook.
I want a straight answer, so I know you aren't.
Uh,
Feels like you might be sidestepping it to mislead me that we are, so that I get things wrong, so that you can call me out from the class like you just said you would.
I say what I mean. You can use your workbook. Right? Okay,
I need a straight answer.
then ask someone else.
Yes.
Matthew.
The answer is yes.
I got a question on number 29. It said use a ruler, but I really didn't. I don't own a ruler. And I was
Okay.
about to go buy one.
So, number 29. It's going to get a lot of you a 0 today. Unfortunately, if you get a 0 today, it means you're not working tomorrow. Okay? So, we're going to learn the hard way, some of us, and that's okay because as long as we are learning, it'll be just fine. Some of us take the hard way to learn, others of us don't. Okay? So here's what happens. Sean, get going, man. If you, for whatever reason, don't have your homework complete, I do not deal well with excuses. Right? And I'm not calling it like a lie excuse. I'm just saying where there's a will, there's a way. Okay? If you wanted to really get that done, it's been an entire school day. I know that I am not the only classroom that has rulers. You could have came here in the morning and got a ruler. You could have came during lunch and got a ruler. You could have, right? I am just saying that if you, like Yoda says, there's no try, only do. Okay? So we'll talk about that. I expect you to be getting your stuff done, whatever that takes. Some of you means you're coming in and getting help. I got it. Okay? Right? We came in this morning and there were like 15 of 20 people waiting to come in. That's awesome. If you can't get in here in the morning, then you can swing by whenever else, right? But that being said, I'm going to check off homework right now. Before I do, please go in your notebooks to your next available page. You were told to tape this in there, but whether or not you follow directions, I don't know. Okay. This was in there from last class. We're going to go to our next day. Please put today's date. Write the words warm up. For your warm-up today and many days in here, we are going to look at some puzzles. All of these puzzles come from the mathematician Martin Gardner. Some of you may have heard of him, some of you may have not. He's dead now. He wrote a bunch of different math puzzles. So we're going to look at those throughout the day. I do not know the solution to this puzzle. Okay, but here's the problem. It says take the digits in descending. I know you can't see it very well. In descending order, 9 through 1. So that means like this: 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And form an expression equal to 100 by inserting, not a box, by inserting plus and minus signs. Okay, you're trying to make the smallest number of signs. So again, here's the thing. You're going 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoops. Okay, they have to stay in order. They have to stay in order. And you can like smush the numbers together. Like if I can call 987 minus 654 plus 32 or something. Okay. They have to stay in order. You're putting in plus or minus signs only. No divide, no times, no equals. Plus or minus signs, trying to make it equal to 100. Now, just in general, hint, don't try and do it the first time with the fewest possible. Just try and get 100 the first time. And then maybe try and see if you can limit your usage of the plus and minus signs. When you think you have it, let Mr. Hirsch know. While I'm coming around, I'm going to check off your homework. 22 through 26 and 29. If you don't have it out, I might just say it's a 0. Have it out so I can see it while you work on your warm-up.
When you think you had the right answer, stick your hand up and also say something, please.
Is there any group that does not have the area and needs more time?
We need more.
Okay. You're going to own up to that after you're already wasting time? We're just throwing that ball over here. I need each group. You need each group to have the area of their section. You have 1 minute to find it. Go. Well, you shouldn't need a remeasure. No remeasuring. If you didn't take the right measurements, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, you gotta go conference?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just gave you the measurement.
First, raise your hand if you got 100 on the warm-up. How many signs did you use? Count your signs. How many signs did you use? Dominic, you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Cool. Let's see it. So this is one such method. Whoa. You could have wrote bigger. Just kidding. So here, Mariah used 7 signs and got 100, and I'm pretty positive it checks out, but I could be wrong. I think it's something like that. So 7.
Yeah, it does count out.
Okay. 7. Could we do it? Did anyone do it with less than 7? Just Dominic? No one else? Let's see. Oh. Shh. We're not doing 1,000, homie.
Oh. I could have done that.
All right, here, Dominic used
5.
4.
4. Okay, 4. Yeah, that's 4.
So you could use 4. I challenge you, though, to try it with 3. I don't know. I haven't been able to. I couldn't do it with 4, though. Well, I didn't spend enough time on it.
Wait,
So
do it with only 3?
I think it could be done with 3. I'm not sure. Okay, not sure, but maybe it could be done with 3. Okay, so awesome. Those of you who didn't get it, and that's kind of a easy one to think about as the day goes. So you're welcome to do that. Let's talk answer key. Here are my answers to the homework, which I think are right. I don't know. Take a minute to look them over. And have that conversation at your table if you need to have one about like, see, what'd you do? Or you were right. Tell me again what you did. Because sometimes what happens is this. Sometimes there's someone at your table who like maybe for 24, they said 152, but you didn't believe them because you thought they were wrong. And now maybe you're like, oh, you were right. And they could tell you a little bit about how they did. All right, so take about a minute and a half, 90 seconds, to talk about that in your tables real quick. Make sure you're all agreed. The other reason is because you're not showing work. I warned you on Friday that I was going to start expecting you to show all your work. It's froze. So here's an example. okay, of how much work. Again, I'm just going to tell you this. I cannot do these problems in my head. And while I may not be smarter than you, right, we're at least equals. At least. Okay, if I can't do it in my head, you're not doing it in your head. I told you Friday that I need to see what you're putting in the calculator. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Okay, one example, when we're looking at how much work goes into this. Yeah, whoa. This is like what I would shoot for. This is a lot of work. It's detailed, it's clear, we can follow it. Okay? If you're like, then I see some people that just have one answer right here. They just have an answer circled. I'm not giving you credit for just an answer circled because, hello, no. Okay? A, I don't know how you got it, and B, not to be rude, I don't believe you. Okay? Again, if I'm not doing them in my head, Mr. Rishu's not doing them in his head, I don't use that excuse. Okay? So if you don't have enough work, I also will not be giving you credit. All right? Most of the time, I have a feeling, right? It's very rarely will I not give you credit when you actually did it. Like mostly, if you're honest with yourself, you'll know, like, yeah, I just looked at his and I wrote the answer down. Okay? So, that being said, we are going to have 10 minutes to go over the problems and or finish as needed. Reminder about the protocol when we're checking off homework. Threefold. 1, you're finishing problems if you need to. 2, you're beefing up answers if you know you did a crappy job. And 3, you're having a discussion with your table about which answer is right. I want all of you to agree on the right answers for each problem. Right? So that gives you roughly 2 minutes a problem. That should be enough time to discuss it. What may not happen is you don't say anything. Please be mindful of the voices at your table, and if someone's not saying anything, ask them. Hey, what do you think? And if they say, oh, I didn't do it, say, well, you could do it now, or are you following this? Please try and make sure that all voices at your table are heard. Togetherness. Now is not the time to be talking to other tables. Now is the time to be talking to your table. Are there any questions about my expectation there? Okay, you guys have 10 minutes. Front half of the room, I'm checking you guys off now. Ready, set.
Good job. 10 out of 10.
Hey, Arden. Hello to those of you who I didn't get to see coming in. So good to see you guys. It genuinely just brought a smile to my face to see some of you. Some of you. Notice I didn't say all. I'm not going to lie to you.
Am I one of the ones that was good?
I don't know. We'll see.
She's talking
all right.
about Horton.
Yeah.
She calls me Horton.
Yeah. Yeah, from Dr. Seuss. Elephant never forgets because he's remember Horton, my dear. Because when you get your quizzes back from this week and someone has one wrong, who gets to be called out in front of the whole class? Yeah, that's right. I just want to point that out. Prepare yourself. Yeah. Remember, you said, how could you possibly make a mistake? Okay. First off, some of us didn't believe me. Did you have your planner checks today?
No.
Yeah. So don't ever tell me I'm a liar.
I didn't call you a liar.
Some of you were real, didn't believe me.
Ms.Stolte,
Yep.
It's all his fault.
sorry.
Uh-huh.
Anyone that way.
Yep. All right, that being said, please get out your planners if you don't have it already. That song is like killer annoying.